Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thought I'd go live. Let's see if anybody jumps on here, kind of catch up what's been going on here on the Homestead farm in the background. Let's see, let's give it a few minutes to see if anybody jumps on. I don't know if anybody's planning on going live this morning or if anybody's um, recovering from this cold blast. It was 4. Good morning, Rebecca. How are you doing today? I was wanting to go in on here earlier, but I was having problems with my speaker. I could hear myself, but it wasn't going on here. I had to go into settings on the laptop. Was about ready to take the laptop and throw it out in the cold, but I didn't do it. So, well, I didn't know if anybody was live right now. I thought I'd jump on here and do a little quick live on what's been going on. My mama, and with me. So this make it easier. Just do a live, and I need the hours. I'm getting close to 1,000 friends, and I'm very, very excited about that. Rebecca, I hope you get better from your cold. Didn't realize that a lot of people were doing lives. So where do I start? I myself am having some health issues. I have hip pain. Um, Doctor said initially it was inflammation, but it is not inflammation. I have a certain type of degenerative, and part of my spine is degenerative because of age, and there's a little bit of arthritis in the bottom of my spine. And the nurse practitioner thought that was why I'm having hip pain. So I'm gonna jump on here real quick. Let me turn my phone down. Jump on here. Okay. So now I got me playing on phone and laptop. Like I said, I was having issues this morning with the sound. I was wanting to go on a little bit before 10, but the sound, which this laptop is, it was doing that to me yesterday as well when I was trying to edit some videos that I did a binge filming of the day before. And I was editing videos while I was watching our new president be inaugurated, which I'm very thankful for. Hopefully, that won't lose me any friends, but if it does, it does. So let's discuss my mama. And I may or may not do a series on about everything I'm learning as I'm going through the process of doing everything I can to help my mama. You are your number one advocate as regards to your health. You are your number one advocate as regards to your family members, if your family members are close, or even if they're not, and you're in charge of the whole kit and caboodle, which I am. I am the oldest of my mama's 4 kids. My mom and dad had 4 kids. It was me. Then it was my sister Janice, which she is my angel that watches over all of us. And then it is my 2 brothers. So about the end of mom was put in the nursing home in August of last year. Yeah, it was August. Yeah, a little bit after her birthday for rehab. Of course, her insurance only paid a little bit of it. And then her insurance finally told her, well, she's had enough rehab, and they kicked her out of the nursing home. And that can happen, just FYI. Before then, we was going back and forth to the ER, and I'd go over there, and I'd be no, let me back up. I would get a phone call, and I would get a phone call, and you need to come over here. You need to come over here. I don't feel good. Let's take me to the ER. ER. Let's go to the ER because I don't feel good. Well, when she was in the hospital before the first time we went to the nursing home, she had been to the ER the week before, and they did a CT scan, and it showed that she had a mass on her pancreas. And that mass, so in order to see for sure what the mass was, there was only one surgeon that was able to do it in Springfield, Missouri at Mercy Hospital, because that's where she went. That's where I go. So we had to schedule it. They was wanting to schedule it, and since she was already in the hospital, I was wanting it done while she was in the hospital. Well, they called me and said, no, she can't do it while she's in the hospital. Needless to say, thank you to the patient advocate group that is up there, and because they do have that in Mercy Hospital, and I'm sure all the other hospitals around the country, they have the patient advocate. She told me kind of what I needed to do, and I went to the social worker that was trying to figure out where to place mom and what to do with mom. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I refuse to take her home until that is done, to check and see what the mass is on the pancreas and do a biopsy if need be. Well, I found it fixed where while she was in the hospital, they was able to do that. And according to what the records show, is that there was no mass on the pancreas. But we will get back to that one. So no mass was found on the pancreas. So went ahead and she went on to the nursing home. And then it was the middle of September, her insurance decided they wasn't going to pay no more for rehab. So they booted her out. She went back home, basically to my stepdad's, which is just a friend of hers that they've been seeing each other for a little bit. So she was home 4 days. 4 days. So sent her back. She had an appointment that day with a follow-up with her doctor, her primary, and they was going to see how she was doing, and update the medications and all that. Well, needless to say, I was on my way over there to take her to her appointment. Well, I was putting gas in the truck, and then I got a phone call. You need to get over here. You need to take me to the ER. I need to go to the ER. I don't feel good. I need to go to the ER. So I took her to the ER while she was ambulance in the ER, made that ambulance bill go up. It was already high. So go ahead and get that done, and I decided then and there, once we got to the ER, I got to the ER. They said she had pneumonia, and they gave her some antibiotics and a few other things. And I decided at that moment enough is enough. I was tired of going back and forth to the ER because there was no reason. Yeah, she don't feel good. She did have a UTI, but she did not want to go to her primary that morning. She wanted to go to the ER. And the paramedics asked her what the difference was going to the ER as to going to her primary. And she just said the only difference was that she was going to get an IV. That was the only difference in the ER. So I had had enough. It's all been on me doing, stopping what I'm doing and taking her to the ER because she don't feel good. She wants them to make her feel better. And I would tell her, Mom, you need to get up and move. You need to get up and move. And she said, well, I have been. I'll do it tomorrow. Because she went from a very vibrant uh, woman who mowed her yard every week when it needed to be mowed. She planted her cannon bulbs. Her garden was, her yard was the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful yards in town because with all her flowers, her elephant ears, her cannon bulbs, she always dug them up every fall and planted them in the spring, and we always sold them. And that was an extra income for her. A little bit. We didn't sell them. She didn't make a whole lot of money for them, but she still did that. So she was at home for 4 days, like I said, and had to go back to the ER, and I had had enough. And I said, she can't go back home because we just beat back and forth back up here at the ER and nothing was being accomplished. She would have symptoms where she was shaky all over or other kind of symptoms, and they would just brush it off. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. Go back home. So I put her in a nursing home facility close to where I live. Um, and I was like, okay. And that was like the end of September. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should put her on hospice because she had a lot of things wrong with her. Um, we have that earlier last year, we went to a cardiologist, we went to pulmonary. The cardiologist said, no, it's not a heart problem, it's a lung problem. The pulmonary said, no, it's not a lung problem, it's a heart problem. So we was going back and forth. She does have spots on her lungs. At that time, she was on 4 liters of oxygen, I do believe, 2, 3 liters. No, it was on 2 liters of oxygen. And when she went home to stay with my stepdad, before I put her in the nursing home, I'm sorry, I'm kind of scattered talking. My stepdad said that she would just unplug her oxygen and just walk around, didn't realize what was going on. So depletion of oxygen to her brain kind of hindered it. And I know as you get older, if you have a UTI or something like that, you act differently, especially in people that have dementia type tendencies, which she really don't. She's not really been diagnosed per se. Um, she does fall underneath, excuse me, excuse me. She does fall underneath the umbrella of dementia with mild neurocognitive disorder, which I also have. So sometimes that's why I have trouble speaking or say the wrong word or the word comes out wrong or something of rather of that nature. So I put her in the nursing home. I enacted the durable power attorney, which the year before in 2023, mom did we went to a lawyer and got the durable power attorney because they said that was more, um, that would be more accurate and more, that's what the lawyer said. It would come into more play with a will. It would be more important. I am also her medical durable power attorney. So I would recommend that if you are getting up in age, that you make somebody responsible for your care to make the health care decisions in case you can no longer make them, which I made a few since all this started. At least the last part of last year. So she is in a nursing home. When she went to the nursing home the second time in the towards the end of September, she was refusing to eat. She did not want to go out of her room. She just was refusing to eat, refusing. And I'm like, okay, mom, all right, you're refusing to eat. And I know that's not a very good sign per se. So I put her on hospice. I signed her up on hospice because it was like 2-3 days that she wasn't really eating. I mean, they're like the staff that knew her from before, because I put her in the same nursing home. So like, this isn't Linda. This isn't your mom. Is different. She don't look like the same person that she did when she was in there first time. And there was only 4 days in between. Well, probably about 6 days in between from the first time she was there to the second time she was there. And they did raise her oxygen at that time to 4 liters. Um, then we went up to 6 liters because she got ammonia again. So that is where we are at. The end of the last Sunday of 2024, I got a phone call, and that's when my hip started. I mean, it was that weekend. It was starting to bother me and starting hurting. I wasn't planning on going anywhere. So I got the phone call at 4:15. 10 minutes later, and when I got the phone call at 10:15, they said that she is on 10 liters of oxygen. So at that time, they had moved her up to 6 before I got that phone call. So I'm like, okay. So 10 minutes later, they called me and told me that I better get up there. If we are going to send her to the hospital, we need to do it now. We are now at 12 liters of oxygen. Needless to say, I was on my phone trying to call both my brothers. Both my brothers live in another state. I rushed around and fed what I could in the dark because 4:15, 4:25, it's dark outside. So hubby fed the dogs. I fed my goats, and needless to say, got up there and finally was calling people. I mean, I was just calling people left and right. Mom's hospice is telling me that they don't think that she would make it through the day. And I finally got a hold of one of my brothers. I said, you need to get your butt down here. And They x-rayed her, and of course he was the one was being a butthole, as he always has been a butthole. He thinks he should be the one in charge. Um, Mom didn't make him in charge. She made me, because I've been down here doing all this stuff. Even when last year, when I had the little fatty tumor taken off my back, which I didn't know what it would entail. Lucky it wasn't. It was just a lump of fat, fatty tumor. And Mom was in the hospital at that time, and I went to go get my surgery done, and then went back to see her. And I asked him to come down and help. Have asked him several times to come down and help. He don't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. He did actually come down that Sunday, and of course he was being a butt through all of it, because I went to go ask the nurse something that Sunday before the new year hit, and he the nurse, he had gone out there and told the nurse that they needed to do something with me because I wasn't letting her talk. She would talk a little bit, and she was really, really shaky, and they had given her anxiety meds, they had given her morphine, and has the morphine just in case she's in pain. They x-rayed her. I wasn't planning on doing the x-ray, but that Sunday they x-rayed her just to see what her lungs looked like. They showed me the x-ray. It was bad. She had fluid in the bottom of her lungs. Um, and they said it would be a miracle if she survived it. A miracle. So go ahead, and my brothers went back home, went back to work. They didn't want to stay. Um, and it was that Friday that I told her, it was the Friday beforehand, that I'm going to have to let her house go back, because the nursing home's taking all their money, was taking all our Social Security check pretty much. And so that is what happened the Sunday before January the 1st. And so now I'm still sleep with my phone beside me, and because I don't know, I really expecting a phone call. And I think it was the following week, um it was after the new year. Mom was having problems. I mean, we lowered her oxygen back down to 6 liters. um she was having problems. I don't remember exactly what it was. And she wanted to go to the hospital. Well, they sent her to the hospital. We already had pneumonia. I mean, get antibiotics, and the night nurse from the nursing home said this antibiotics is only just going to give us more time with her. So they was treating the pneumonia aggressively at the nursing home. This nursing home does not do IV antibiotics, so they say the first part of the year they sent her on to the hospital, and I guess nowhere on her notes that they sent to the hospital was hospice. It was nowhere on any of the documentation that they sent. Sorry about the movement. About that she was on hospice, and she was talking out of her head when I got up there. Um, and she was telling me things, what she's seen when she closed her eyes. She said, I closed my eyes and I'm down in a dungeon. And she said, your brothers are throwing stuff at me just to be funny. And I'm like, what? And then she said, I closed my eyes and then I'm no longer in a dungeon. She says, I closed my eyes and I'm in a open field, and my brother Mike and some girl is walking towards her. And she said, I opened my eyes and I'm not there. And then she says, I closed my eyes and I'm in that field by myself. So I'm kind of like, okay. And then she's mumbling stuff. And I asked her, I said, Mom, who are you talking to? What'd you say? And she said, I'm talking to my daughter, one of my daughters, and my daughter's not there. And it's like, so I go out to the waiting room because I have no signal back there where she's at. And I want a kind of little privacy as well and didn't want her stressing hearing my conversation. And I call hospice. Hospice, the nursing home did not call hospice. Anytime a nursing home patient or any patient, as regards to that matter, that is on hospice, hospice is supposed to be notified when that person goes to the hospital. So hospice asked me, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, finally the nurse calls me back because it's the weekend, of course. And she's like, what do you want to do? They say she has pneumonia. And what do you want to do? And I'm like, I'd rather see her be treated in the nursing home because that way I can come visit her, which, 20 minutes away as compared to an hour and a half. So I go ahead and I argue with the doctor, I argue with the nurse, and I asked to speak to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, I said, I'm her durable power attorney, and I have the papers with me. And I said, I'd rather her be transferred back to the nursing home. That is where I want her to be. And the doctor says, you understand she's got pneumonia and she could speak for herself. And I'm like, she's talking out of her head and you want to say that she can speak for herself? Okay. So the doctor goes in there and explains stuff. Well, doctor says, well, you know, if you go back to the nursing home, you could get sick and die. And I'm like, I'm like looking at that doctor like, seriously? It was the Sunday beforehand that I had to be the one to call all the family in. And I decided then and there that we weren't going to send her to the hospital. So needless to say, Mom said, well, whatever my daughter wants, that's what we would do. And I'm like, and that doctor kept telling her, well, if you understand, we could treat you here. We could solve this issue. And I'm like, where was you at last year? Where was you at when we was switching back and forth? No, it's a cardiologist. No, it's a I'm like, just send her back to the nursing home and everything be hunky-dory. So the nurse comes in there and she said, well, how would you like to go ahead and we do some the antibiotics that they was going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm okay with that. So needless to say, they hung 2 antibiotics, IV antibiotics, and then the ambulance magically got there and sent her back to the nursing home. And they had already admitted her, and the nursing home staff didn't realize why she had come back, knowing that they had admitted her in the hospital. And I'm like, I'd rather be here instead of being at the hospital. I mean, you guys were doing the same thing that the hospital. Oh yeah, the hospital IV antibiotics. But seriously, so she has recovered from the pneumonia. We're at 6 liters of oxygen, and we have added PRN anxiety med. So that is an update on what has been going on. My mama's been on hospice, had to put her on hospice. She's in the nursing home. I'm in the middle of been working on that for since she went in the nursing home the first time, working on cleaning out her house. And my mama was a hoarder, and I will admit to that. Uh, she saved bags, she saved cardboard, she saved. I already knew about the quilt fabric and the quilt pieces and the quilt books. I already knew all about that one. I already knew about that, but I didn't know about the cardboard, the bags, the clothes. I have taken out 70 trash bags, the white trash bags full of clothes. And I'm not even hit the tip of the iceberg yet. So I have not gotten one room cleaned out, and her house is up for sale. So anybody wanting to move to Missouri, in town, not in the country, in town, her house is up for sale. And so with all of that, before mom got where she is now, she put my name on the checking account, my name on her savings account, and I have in the process of switching all her mail to my house, just in case by any chance her house sells. My plan is to clean it out, get it cleaned out before I let it go back. And her garage, she has a garage too, and it's plumb full. You name it, it's out there. You name it, in her house, she has it. I have several little shoebox sized totes of quilt blocks that she pieced together, and she put the pattern in there, and she put her little templates in there and the original block, or little pieces of quilt, the blocks that she sewed together, a little bit of that. She has, I swear to you, probably she's got a trunk. She's got probably 3-4 totes full of quilt tops and quilts that she has done. And besides what, I got a suitcase and a little, a couple little things of briefcase of photos and recipes, cookbooks. I have inherited all her cookbooks and all her recipes that she tore out of magazines. She was a recipe hoarder like I am. The quilt book, quilt magazines, fabric, you name it, she had it. She had, and I remember taking her to the ER, and she saved the little puke bag that they give you at the ER just in case you need them. And she was going to put it in her yard to see if a bird would build a nest in it. So that is where I'm at, which I hate. Right now, I'm really hating this winter weather because I can't go visit her. I want to go visit her today. She's I call up there every morning, and I'm like, well, how's my mama? And the nurse usually, well, she's anxious this morning and kind of depressed. And after they brought her back from the hospital, when the hospital doctors didn't think the doctors wanted to save her. Um, Not knowing that she was on hospice, they didn't. And I read the notes from that time, and the doctor asked the nurse, "Is she on hospice?" And the nurse said, "No." And I'm like, seriously? She's been on the hospice since the end of September. Um, and so that's where I'm at, and I tried to get her address changed on her checking account, just so it would come here, her bank statement. And nope, act of Congress, an act of Congress just to get it transferred. And since my name is not on the um, mortgage company where she has her house financed, which we try to get my name on there, but they was wanting me to take a mortgage out on the house. I didn't want to do that. I just want my name on there. We do have a beneficiary deed, and I highly recommend you getting one of those if your parents are have their own home and not renting. Get a beneficiary deed with all the kids' names on it. So if they pass, to my understanding, it's supposed to be stronger than a will. Um, that is, I mean, make sure you have your papers if you're the durable power attorney. Oh, Jennifer, I feel your pain for going to the dentist. Well, I'm just rambling on and what's been going on in the background um, with my mama, and a little bit of the acts of Congress that you have to go through to get anything done. Um, I mean, I have faxed the finance company the papers, my durable power attorney papers, and I guess they didn't approve it, which doesn't make no sense to me why they wouldn't approve it. But so they won't tell me if they've received the bill. They cannot tell me, which that's a simple yes or no question. I'm the one sending y'all the bill, but yet you can't tell me whether or not you got the bill. Oh, okay. Make sure that if you are in charge of your parents' um, stuff, durable power attorney, make sure you get a durable power attorney that covers all of it financially and medically so you can make those decisions. Um, so that is where everything stands at right now. I mean, like I said, waiting for a phone call. I'm expecting a phone call anytime. I mean, she's had pneumonia. We was up to 12 liters of oxygen. Then the family has been called in at least once. I tried to call the family in when they went down and look had seen on the pancreas, which there was no mass on the pancreas. But I do question that because when I filled out hospice, put her on hospice, I finished putting her on hospice and I got the paperwork back. And it said the reasons why she was on hospice. And one of the reasons was because there was something going on with her pancreas, which I don't understand totally about that. Um, I don't understand. And I called and I asked hospice, well, what is wrong with her pancreas? And they really didn't know. All they said was other. Um, so, and I don't see any of the winners of the oh, never mind. And I am going to be part of the Indiana Backyard Gardener Seed Swap this year, which soon as this cold snap gets away, uh, I will try to go and mail that off. Besides, with my other for my for this channel, mail the seeds off that I told Ariana that I would send, and also I am going to be I am going to be doing another on my other channel. Awesome, Jennifer. Awesome. I am going to be sending the books off that people won on the 1896 Fanny Farmer collaboration that I did with Susan at Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I will be sending those off as well, which I know one went to Jan. I don't remember who the other two books went to right off the top of my head. But it's like, oh, okay. And of course, today I'm here feeding the stove because our high is 20 degrees. The low was 4 this morning when I woke up, and that is what the temp was when I went out and did my morning chores. So trying to make this an hour. But that is what has been going on here. There is another video coming out later on this week that will be kind of controversial, but I was pissed. And it's not the video I made today. Yeah, my husband does that as well, Jennifer, but it's like every 2 hours here. Wood heat is our only heat source, so it makes it bad. Like I said, I really, 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 really want to go see my mama today. But I can't until hubby gets home, and then usually by the time he gets home, it's really, really cold, and I really don't feel like going out. Besides, I'm planning on making soup, some kind of soup today, and I'm planning on canning today, trying to heat up the house a little bit. At least doing the pressure canning because it seems to heat up the house a little bit. So, but I love, 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 love our wood heat. The reason why we do have a gas propane furnace, but it has not been used for 3 or 4 years, somewhere in there, because the fan messed up, so we had to put a new fan blade on. Ooh, wow, Jennifer, wow, that is a lot of money, well, anyway, and then after we replaced the fan blade, every time it would kick on high, it would sound like the blade would just be flying out of there. So, and besides, every year we would have to replace the coupler that's on there. So hubby's like, meh, we'll just do wood heat. So that is what we do, is use wood heat. So I've been feeding the stove. Hubby has cut the wood smaller so it's easier for me to handle. Besides arthritis in the bottom of my spine, I have it in both hands. So the joys of getting old, it's not fun. Would love to crochet more. But anyway, what I was saying on the book that I won from the Cozy Fall Soup, there will be, which is where I said about the winning today, and then Thursday there will be a video on why it took so long to get here. There is a reason why that it took so long to get here. And I know it was the West Coast all the way to the middle of the country. I understand that's a long ways. But since it was supposed to have been here before the end of the year, it didn't get here until last week. I think it was last week. And there was a reason why. Yep, a reason why. because our mail system nowadays sucks. Just saying it like it is. When go to you transfer the package all the way to St. Louis, and then you go backwards to a different state, and then you go back to Missouri. That's why. Why do you need to go to St. Louis, then backwards to another state, and then back to Missouri? You should have just went from, or they could have went to Kansas, then down to Springfield, and then done it that way. But they no. So, but yet we pay. Hopefully, having a new president will help things. I'm hoping and praying that things will get better. I am glad, very glad, that we have a new president. So hopefully, I pray, hopefully everything will work out the way it's supposed to. But that is what has been going on. And it's about time again to put more wood in the stove since it's littler pieces. I have to beat it more often. I do have it in here a little bit above 70. The high today is supposed to be 20. So I don't know where we are today, right now. Oh, we're at 12. Wow. Yes, wood heat is a pain. Used to last year. Well, burr. Ooh, you just make me cold. It was 2 here yesterday morning. Ooh, I can imagine what it was up there yesterday morning. Ooh, but it's like, oh, okay. So, like I said, when it's this cold, since wood is our only heat source, I can't go anywhere. Yeah, I could go outside and walk around, but who would want to walk around in that cold and bundle all that up? Um, I have goat babies due next month, so I'm hoping we don't have this cold snap like this next month. I got a new grandbaby due in March on St. Patty's Day. Um, so, and I am doing a collab with my other channel, Vintage Recipe Challenge. So dig out those old recipes. You can find some on Pinterest, just long as it's a recipe. My toaster oven, I thought, wow, the 19th of March. Mine's not until November, so another year older. I really ain't looking forward to that. Um, but I forgot where I was going. Oh, my toaster oven. I was using an extension cord. I undid the extension cord and was able to plug in the toaster oven. It worked the other day when I used it. So I'm just going to have to use it and watch it and unplug it after I get done. So until there's money ahead to get me another one, the ones that are at Walmart is smaller than this one. So, and on that note, my niece messaged me knowing that mom has a washer and dryer that's not being used. Um, she's mad at me. I feel that she's mad at me because I didn't say, "Oh yeah, you could go ahead and get it." I feel she's mad at me because I told the real estate agent that all appliances went with the house, and I said if it wasn't for that, I'd gladly let you. I didn't tell her buy it, because she would have to buy at least a washing machine. Mom's dryer isn't not. I mean, it still dries, but you have to set the timer on it. set a timer, kind of watch, okay, it's 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, I'll check the dryer. But it's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, if it wasn't for me telling the realtor that all appliances went, I would be okay with that. And I would take her cook stove. But yes, yes, yeah. And I think that is what the problem is. She thinks, and then my youngest brother called and said, well, you know, she called me and messaged me, well, why can't she have, I'm like, I told the realtor that all appliances went with the house because I felt that would be, and it would help to sell the house if the rooms were empty, but it's only me being the one cleaning everything out. And mom's got so much stuff. I mean, I've already decided which quilt books, all the hardback quilt books, and the um, certain quilt books I'm going to keep. And the quilt magazines, there's like four of them that I'm going to keep. Quilt World, Quilt, Stitch and Sew, and there's Women's Household, because I like Stitch and Sew and I like Women's Household magazines because, and of course the work baskets, um, because they had recipes in there in there as well, and a little bit of here and there other stuff in there. But I'm still in the process of moving her stuff out. I'm not even touched the garage yet. and there's and she informed me that there's clothes out there as well in the garage. And I know there's double knit. My mom always liked to make the bow tie quilt pattern with double knit. She liked working with double knit. Uh, she loved to quilt. That just what she did. And I tried to tell her, well, maybe you could teach a class at the nursing home, because she would look at the quilt block pattern and she'd figure it out. She would figure it out without reading any instructions, um, just by looking at the quilt pattern. It just like, and both of my grandmothers quilted. One of them embroidered. Well, they both embroidered, but I remember the one on my dad's side embroidery. Um, the grandma on my mom's side, she quilted on the old treadle sewing machine, which my aunt Sue got, I do believe. Um, I do believe that's who's got it, and grandma's rocking chair that she always sat in. But it's like, and my grandma, on mom's side, she quilted, used her sewing machine until she got the sewing machine needle through her finger. And then she still quilted after that. She hand pieced. So that I am from a long line of quilters, crafters of that sort. And I have decided I'm going to start something new. I've already started it on my other channel, Crafting Sundays. If you want to join in, feel free to do that. Just tag my other channel for the Crafting Sundays, and I will try to do a crafting. Going through one book of Mom's beginning quilting, just to kind of learn the terms, the supplies, and all that. I'm only going to be doing it once a month. I'm going to share it on both of my channels, at least try to. Like if I do a block on one channel, I will do the other block on the second channel, on this channel, because it's mainly going to be on from the other channel, Luann's Kitchen. But that is what is been going on. Like I said, and that video for the terms will drop tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow on this channel. Part 1 was on Luann's Kitchen on Sunday. So hopefully it will do good and get a lot of views. And then we will do the supplies starting in March. And then probably about April or May, we will start doing the blocks that is in that book. Beginning quilting. Let me see if I could get it. It's right here. Oh, let me see if I could get it. Oh, no. Off those a bunch of stuff. Here it is. Hopefully you can see it. Well, it will be on. It's learning to quilt. Let's see if I could. Oh, it ain't going to show it. But there are different, a beginner's guide, and I'm kind of like a beginner. It does have a few block pieces. It has like 25, I think 25 lessons in it. Let me double check. Yeah, 25 lessons in it. And it has a quilt. I'm going to do it scrappy. I am going to plan on doing, like I said, towards the end of the month. And then on the 15th of every month, I am going to be doing chicken breeds, information on chicken breeds. I'm going through there's a paper that I have in my pantry, has the different chicken breeds. I'm going through that. And then, of course, Sweets for Your Sweetheart will start February the 1st through the 14th. So that is the collabs that I have coming up. I got less than 3 minutes. I'm going to make this an hour, y'all, because I need the hours. So need the hours since I'm close to 1,000 friends. I'm so excited about that. And I hope y'all could still hear me, because this is, the microphone is, okay. So that is what has been going on in the background with my mama. Told you the story about that, and all the deals of acts of Congress of getting everything done. And I did get me a new cookbook for Christmas and a couple little doodads, which I am planning on sharing with that, because I do have a goal on my other channel, which I'm not going to say what the goal is. I need to move my feet up here. Oh, I disappeared there for a minute. But that is, hopefully, Jennifer, you seen what Rebecca said and wanted to know when you wanted her to ship out. Rebecca wants to know when you want your hat to be shipped out. So that is what's been going on. I'm at a phone call's notice with my mama. She's on hospice. So, and she's very anxious this morning and kind of depressed this morning. Like I said, I really, really, really wish that I could go see her today. I may, after hubby gets off, I may go see her. I don't know. Just to get away from the house. So other than that, that is, like I said, I won't be able to go check on our house today. I was going to leave a key with my uncle, but he wasn't home the other day when I was over there. So So it'll be what it'll be. So that's just what I got to do. So, I agree with you, Rebecca. When I get things packed, gone, so you don't have to worry about it. I agree with you. Totally, totally agree. Woohoo! We made it in an hour. So I'm going to get off of here and stop my gabbing so I could go feed the stove, stoke the stove, and go put some soup on for tonight's supper. So that is it for today. So see y'all later. And everyone have a very, very blessed day. And I pray you all have, Jennifer, I pray that you have a good visit at the dentist if that's possible. And I pray that everybody has a wonderful day. And I'm very thankful for everyone that will watch this. And please like and subscribe. So see y'all later. God bless.